Culturally clueless.
The Mali government has put out $3.5 million for information that could lead to the capturing of one of the main leaders of the radical groups that are destabilizing the country. And congratulations are due. The IDF finally made it onto the UN's blacklist for sexual abuse. The Pentagon is worried because their bestie, the one and only ally that they literally sent their own people to die for, are spying on them. With that said, you guys, welcome back to Culturally Clueless, the place where we connect the dots, ask questions, and most definitely challenge the narratives we're told to believe. Assalamu alaikum.
People talking loud, everybody's got it taped. Scrolling through the headlines, don't know what's real or fake. Late night conversations, what's the truth we chase? World keeps changing pace, but we're all in the race.
Salam, you guys, I am back. I know it looks crazy. It looks like I'm here for a week and then gone for a week and then come back for a week and so on and so forth. No, I'm really trying to be as consistent as I can, but I don't want to have to repeat myself because you guys know sometimes just things take priority seat, and that's what it is. Please, you guys, I love you so much. So engage with the comment section, thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't, share it out, tell your friends about this platform, and maybe they just tune in, and if they like it, they become a regular. Now let's get down to business. We have some stuff to talk about, and I just want to say this, right? I just love to use videos for my podcast because it just kind of like underlines the message. It just shows what people are talking about. It just shows what's going on. Sometimes it's best to hear it from the horse's mouth. Like that's why I like to use all kind of like different videos. And sometimes I like to use videos of people who actually did some work and put something interesting together, like the very first one that we're going to start with. We all like a little bit of entertainment. We all like a little bit of Hollywood, unfortunately, right? As much as we're trying to stay away from it. But there is now that we know that particularly Hollywood is very much being impactful and influential when it comes to trends and certain things. I mean, like, who doesn't want to look like their favorite celebrity or their favorite influencer? Like all these people, especially like when you look at the Kardashians, when they came on the scene, and then all of a sudden the body parts that Black girls were kind of like mocked for, now all of a sudden everybody wants them, like, the big lips and other big things, and people undergo surgery, try to look like them, use the same makeup style, same hairstyle, clothing, and so on and so forth, right? And not just the Kardashians, also other people, obviously, right? Whoever you choose to follow. This is a very dangerous thing because there is a lot to it. And there is a lot of subliminals that we don't pick up straight away. And this girl here, she really put this together nicely to showcase how the word goyim has been actually used for years, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not a October 7th baby, as you guys already know, but I didn't know the word goyim prior to this. I'm not sure if I heard it before or not. I can't say. But I wasn't aware that this is what they call us, right? A particular set of people calling everybody else who are not part of their set of people this word. And I want you guys to have a listen and see for yourselves.
Game Mind Over Mutant, one of the characters, Coco, if you hit her enough, she says this.
We'll mess up your looks for that. Lousy goyim.
And in a 2003 Simpsons video game called Hit and Run.
Lousy goyim.
The clown who just said that, his name is Krusty. He is canonically Jewish in The Simpsons. Not only that, if you keep hitting him, he'll...
This is amazing and interesting, right? How these words are being actually used, and I have been there. We just didn't have no idea, and this is why I say it. Like TV, radio, but TV even more because there's the visuals and the audio. With radio is mainly just like the audio. So I know that radio is a little bit old school for especially the newer generations who are not much into a radio, but when it comes to TV, everybody is somehow one way or another impacted. And then we come to the Simpsons, right? The Simpsons, where people always speculate and try to figure out how do the Simpsons know everything before it even happened, and once it's happened, like how did they even know this, right? So is it conspiracy, or is there like a playbook that has been acted out for decades, and this playbook is borrowed by the Simpsons? I don't know. You guys tell me.
A lawsuit and then deny touching your underage daughter. Yeah, you can't make this up.
I swear I didn't touch your daughter. Hey! Now you're looking at a lawsuit.
Just a reminder that if literally any other group had a label for people who are not in their group, they would be canceled.
And
They
since we're
don't
talking about Hollywood, I just want to ask you guys, have you heard of the Seven Mountain Mandate? I wanted to talk about it from a long time ago, but it wasn't really like a good chance, right? These Seven Mountain Mandates are basically seven areas that are being controlled by a set of evangelical Christians who want to use this to shape society, to shape culture, um, with family, religion, education, arts and entertainment, education, business, and government. So basically, everything, right? Like education. I mean, we all been to school. We all have kids or children in our close environment that go to school. Then you have business. Either you own a business or you work for a business. The government. I mean, we know what's up with that. Arts and entertainment. We all watch a movie, a series, a show, listen to music, watch videos, or whatever the case may be. Family, most of us do have that, and religion, we also know what's up with that. So this is how they want to shape society. This is what they want people to follow. They want they want to control these things, and I find this extremely wild because some of them even say this is how they want Jesus, or how they're going to bring back Jesus. This is how Jesus is going to return. This all started in 1975 when a man named Lauren Cunningham, who is the founder of Youth with a Mission, a very large foundation or NGO, I don't actually know, to be quite honest, who go out there and travel to different countries and do actually amazing work, right? He started Youth with a Mission in the 60s. It's Christian values, and they want to make Jesus known. They do missionary work, feed the hungry, build schools, they do medical work. Like you would say, okay, it is very hands-on, very great, right? They have over what, like 100,000 volunteers in 180 countries. It sounds actually amazing. But what is the underlining and subliminal message that goes with it? And then there is another guy called Bill Bribe, right? He has the organization Campus Crusaders for Christ. He is he has the same vision, basically, pretty much. His go about is a little bit differently, and he started also earlier, while Lauren Cunningham started his Youth with a Mission in the 60s. Bill Bribe started in 1951, right? And he started reaching out to colleges and students to spread the gospel. They are quite huge, not as big as World's Vision and Samaritans, where it's like, but they're quite big together with also, like, we have also like some of the larger mega churches who also make a lot of money, a lot of income. And all of them people follow the Seven Mountain Mandates, right? And what's interesting is both men allegedly received the message, and in 75, so they met, they talked about it and realized, oh my God, I have the same message from God, and that's what's up, and that's what we're gonna do from now on. Moving right along, I told you guys we're going to talk about Trump. We're going to have to talk about Trump. Trump crashed out in front of the the world once again, right? He started being offensive again towards media. I mean, it's nothing new, but he kind of like he lost it a little bit. He lost it. We're not gonna talk about this right now because I wanna first I want to talk about how he last week already threatened Oman. You're gonna threaten Oman, the place that people call the Switzerland of the Middle East, the country that's been always very cordial, always very balanced, very friendly. They tried to mediate, especially in this situation. This is insane. The threat is insane. If they don't play ball, we're gonna blow them up. Check out what he said.
Would you accept a short-term deal that allows Iran and Oman to control the strait? And would they have to open it immediately, or would you be open to that happening over a period of time?
No, the strait's going to be open to everybody.
And who would control it?
It's international waters. Nobody's going to control it. We're going to watch over it. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it. That's part of the negotiation that we have. They would like to control it. Nobody's going to control it. It's international waters, and Oman will behave just like everybody else, so we'll have to blow them up. They understand that. They'll be fine.
The thing is, Oman wants to stay neutral, right? They want to talk about how they're gonna manage the situation with Iran, because it's crazy that a guy from way over there is telling two countries in a whole different area, a whole different continent, what to do and what not to do, who is supposed to cooperate and collaborate with whom. And if you do that, we're gonna blow you up. And they know that, and they're fine with it. I mean, this is absolutely wild. I think Trumpy's little ego might have been hurt because with, following the lead of the closest ally of the US, right? Because this psychotic leader of theirs, right, of the only democracy in the Middle East, he wanted this war. He was the only one. Like, the whole planet doesn't want this war except him. And Trump is making sure that every given chance he says in public, he doesn't want Iran to have nukes. And this is very strategic, I believe, that he keeps repeating this, because the more you say it, the more people really think, oh my God, maybe he's right. Oh my God, nukes. Oh my God. Yeah. So now he's telling them, right, them two countries who are right, like next to the Strait of Hormuz, not to cooperate, which is nuts. Yes, it was international waters. Ships could go and come as they please. But with this move, Iran pulled a fast one and just took over the strait. And now they're controlling it. And now ships can't come and go as they please unless they coordinate and they pay. Okay, so this is a huge loss, a huge loss, also to his ego. And I feel like now, because they come into this whole thing like, oh, if you don't do as I say, we're going to do this and that to you, right? The strikes are still happening because the only democracy in the Middle East obviously doesn't honor anything. They don't even know what honor is. They've been striking Lebanon like crazy, and Lebanon is part of the deal, at least for the Iranians. They want peace in the area. This is where America looks crazy. America is threatening people or threatening countries. They like if it's not Oman, they threaten other countries as well. Also, like the NATO countries and so on and so forth. But at the same time, when you look at Iran, who say, "Hey, give us back our money and freeze our assets, leave us alone, pay reparations for all the damages you caused, and we want peace in the area. Like, stop the madness in Gaza, stop the madness in Lebanon, and like stop all the madness in the area, basically." So who looks crazy here? You guys tell me. And of course, Marco Rubio, the little sellout that is trying his hardest to do everything to be liked by the white supremacists, right? He wants a joint attack on Iran, like a joint response together with the GCC countries. Well, the GCC countries don't want the smoke, but at the same time, they don't want to stand up to the US either. And that's why we've been hearing for weeks, we're close to a deal, we're close to signing a deal, or it's looking good, or it's going to be a great deal, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening, to the point where we have even further news, right? Where you have phone calls, right? Axios, for example, reported phone calls between Netanyahu and Trump, how Trump was calling him effing crazy. Everybody hates Israel. We need to stop this, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, obviously, to smooth things down and not make them look so bad, Trump is coming out and saying that, we were great together. He's a war prime minister, and I'm a war president. Who says this? Sounds, I don't know. It sounds just weird to me. Am I the only one? Like, honestly. Anywho, so he gave another interview, not the one, I'm not talking about the one where he crashed out. I'm talking about this one where he was asked that he was consistently campaigning on the no war politics, right? He didn't want another war. And now he was asked, did you break the promise? And he's saying this.
Did you break that promise to the American people?
No. I had to stop a country, very powerful, very dangerous country, from having a nuclear weapon, because they'd use it. They'd blow up the world. They'd blow up the Middle East. They'd blow up Israel. They'd come here. They'd blow up Europe. They're nuts, okay? They're crazy people. I deal with them. And very high-strung people, really crazy, and get along with them. I like them, but you don't want to let them have a nuclear.
He's calling the Iranians crazy and nuts. He's calling them, I don't know what, but he likes them. He just doesn't want them to have nukes. And they're going to blow up the Middle East. They're going to blow up Europe, and they're going to blow up the US. My question is, why would they do that? If they had nukes, they're going to just like blow up like what? The whole continent where they are in? Blow up themselves, basically, part of the Middle East, Europe and the US, and then like, why is it that people don't use their own minds, their own ability of critical thinking? Why would they do that? What's in there for them? Why would they do that? The interview continued with this.
If I didn't guarantee no war, why would I have built the strongest military in the world? I built our military. I inherited a terrible military. We had no equipment. We had nothing. I built a tremendous military. Biden gave a lot of it away, but it's still a relatively small portion compared to what I built.
But you said it over and over again, Mr.
Why would I
President?
build a military? Now, I didn't want to use this, but I'm doing you and everybody else a big favor. In the midst of the greatest stock market in history, in the midst of the most successful country, because as you know, in the last term, we were a dead country, Kristen. I know you're a big liberal, we're a big progressive.
No, but I'm just a journalist.
We were a dead country. A couple of years ago, we were a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Yeah, when he was pressed, he said he's basically doing everyone a favor, right? He's doing the world a favor, a service. Oh, yeah, a service. He's doing the world a service, and he's doing the US a service. He doesn't want them to have stocks. He doesn't let her talk. He doesn't let her ask questions. He's always like, wait, listen. Like how he does, this is like clear like manipulation and trying to dominate the conversation in such a cheap way. I don't even know why she allowed him to do that. And then the deflection, of course, to the stock market. That's the only thing he really cares about. I mean, at some point, talking about Obama, like he has to badmouth someone. Listen, I'm not an Obama fan, right? But him to bring somebody else and talk bad about them, that's what he does so that he can look like better, like horrible deal that Obama signed, right? And then he had to come, right, and be the hero. Pure deflection, right? Then he talked about how they last year already obliterated, oh my God, I don't know why I have this problem with this word as well. Obliterated the nuke facilities in Iran, right? And I'm just wondering, really, if that's the case, if you destroyed the nuke facilities, what are you worried about? What are you worried about? He said he won the election because he has good judgment. Oh my God, I couldn't believe when I heard that. I really couldn't. And people trust in his ability. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He has really no clue what he's talking about. And I do understand when some of the Democrats and some of the Republicans even just want him gone. And, you know, even if they have to use the 25th Amendment. But at this point, what are all these amendments for? Like, why do we have certain procedures that we can put in place to get rid of a president if they never being pushed through? And to be honest, do we really want to get rid of Trump and bring in JD Vance? I don't know. I really don't know. And then he talks like it's like a master act in like taking over Venezuela in matter of minutes, destroying the capabilities of the Iranians in matter of days, and not like the stupid people who stayed in Vietnam for 19 years, right? Because these people were stupid. And every time she wants to ask him something, he's like, listen. Linda, look, Linda, listen, Linda. Yeah. Okay, guys, time to move on. Enough of Trump. Patrick Bet-David, somebody I can't stand anymore. I came across Patrick Bet-David when he was still interviewing people like Semi the Bull and stuff. And I thought, oh, okay, that's actually interesting. How is this guy doing all of this, right? This guy is so full of himself. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, at this point, I'm really doubting that he's actually an Israel supporter, because he asked the dumbest question when none other than Mehdi Hassan was a guest on his show. And they talked a lot. I cannot obviously comment on the whole show, so I had to choose some of the parts, and it was very hard. It was very hard. But listen to this. I can't. What question is this? Can Muslims coexist in the West? Oh my goodness. Let me say this, right? If and I always say this to people, stay out of our countries, and maybe too many of us, or so many of us, wouldn't even be here. Get the heck out of our countries. Stop exploiting us. Stop blackmailing the governments. Stop making them a puppet. And I'm not taking away that our governments also need to be held accountable for wanting to be that puppet, for accepting all that hush money and blood money and whatever money you want to call it. Okay. But I felt like, back to Patrick, absolutely dumb questions. And then he says, because Mehdi Hassan is educated and he's providing jobs because he has a business, he can. So what about all of the white people who live in America, right? Who came and who are profiting off of what their ancestors did, you know, like have slaves, get rid of the indigenous people as much as possible, steal their land. Do you know how many are not educated, don't provide jobs, are not cultivated, don't even know how to read or write? That's okay. You want to exist next to those people, but you're going to question, can Muslims coexist in the past? I don't know. It's either he lost the plot and he did not prepare for this, or he's just really this actually low level minded. And then there's more to this we talked about, remember you guys, this woman that was comparing, the woman from the UAE that was comparing the Emirates to Iran, when we talked about how Iran has been sanctioned while there is a lot of investments going into the Emirates, and how they are being treated versus how Iran is being treated. He came up with the same BS kind of like talking point.
Do you think the West, when it comes down to West, Muslims can coexist with the West?
Took a handbrake.
I'm curious.
I'm Muslims.
Okay.
What do you think?
Do you think they can coexist?
Do you think I can coexist with?
I think you can coexist.
Why me?
Educated. You're a worker. You're now a capitalist. You're contributing. You're creating jobs. I would say you're net positive.
Do you not think most Muslims do that?
I don't think depending on where they're coming from, they don't, because if their countries did a good job, why would they leave it?
And of course, he's not going to accept Mehdi's talking point of, something similar that I just said, the sanctions and this whole treatment, what has been done to the country, how they've been attacked, how there was a coup in 1953, how Shell and all of these companies, like the Brits went in there and took like the oil until this guy that nationalized the oil did. He doesn't accept all of this because to him, this is apparently not real. And then what can I say? He always reverts back to Muslims. And when Mehdi actually asked him this, he laughed it off because he really didn't have any rebuttal.
Per capita on this list.
Do you know what happened to Iraq after the Iran-Iraq war?
So now you have another reason. It's America's fault again.
I mean, do you study history, Patrick? Do you know what happened in 1991?
No, on one end, you're saying this. On the other end, you say, no, it's because of this.
You're comparing countries. You're showing me a graph comparing countries that have never been bombed, invaded, and occupied with countries that have been bombed, invaded, occupied. And then you say, why is the GDP per capita higher in one, not the other?
Why haven't
That's an insane comparison.
Yes, but listen, I'm sorry. The question might sound dumb, but it's true. Because I was thinking the same. Before he said it, I was thinking the same, right? And I was thinking like, okay, so you actually had the same type of, or at least a similar, very similar path like these people, like this. You were a refugee. And there's nothing more in this world that I hate when somebody is a part of something, but thinks that they are bigger than everybody else because now they're making money. Now they sold out, and now they feel like they're part of the elite. I mean, he's an imperialist, he's a fascist or capitalist, whatever he calls himself. I don't really care. But all these questions. He did also ask why did Muslims become Republicans? Okay, I get that. That question is fine with me personally. He got his response from what's his name? Mehdi. And then there was a question of a candidate, right? Which candidate to vote? I can't believe it. This is like, he tries to create this gotcha moment. And I'm very glad. I mean, I never doubted Mehdi Hassan, whether you like him or not, but one thing he is very witty with it, right? He was not gonna allow him to have a gotcha moment with this question here.
Core Republican, capitalist, pro-Trump guy who's a Muslim. Second one is a hardcore socialist, progressive, liberal who is a Christian. Which do you vote for?
Obviously, I vote for the person whose values and policies I support. I don't vote based on religion. Muslims are not a monolith. I don't agree with all Muslims. You just mentioned some of them who vote for Trump.
Do you think long term America will be at a point where we'll have a Muslim governor or a Muslim president?
Yes, Muslim governor, I think hopefully very soon.
Yeah.
Inshallah. President, I don't think for a while. Look, let's first get a woman president. This country is so behind the rest of the world. Pakistan's had a woman leader. Bangladesh has had a woman leader. Most European countries have had a woman leader. America still needs to do that basic thing. By the way, the big reason the Republican Party will not win over Muslims or Arab Americans in big numbers is because of the racism, Patrick. Fundamentally.
That racism is BS. I don't think
What? You don't think Randy Fine's a racist?
Randy Fine's not my guy.
But he's a Republican in foreign.
No, he's to me.
You don't think Donald Trump is a racist?
Not at all.
When he says to Rashida Tlaib, you should go back to where you came from. She's
if you
from Michigan.
don't like America, go back.
She's born and raised in Michigan. That's racist, Patrick. When I grew up, you tell someone to go back to where they came from, you start a fight.
Listen, we're both from the
Somalis garbage.
Dude, we're both
That's racist.
What do you say to some conservatives that are worried about Sharia law making it into America?
I would say, please do not worry. You're being lied to. You're being gaslit. You're being distracted. This is a fake moral panic that's been blown up.
Because it'll never happen, or because Sharia law is not that bad?
Because it's not. Two different things. Number one, Sharia law is not what you think it is. It's not happening. There's nobody I know who's pushing Sharia law in this country. It's completely fake, and it's being pushed in ridiculous places, not just Texas, Oklahoma, Indiana. Did you see the lieutenant governor of Indiana said recently, we need to hate Islam. It's a demonic religion, right? And I'm going to fight radical Islam and share it. Do you know what the Muslim population of Indiana is? Less than 1%. Like, this is ridiculous fear-mongering.
It has 3x the U.S., I think, in the last 26 years, if I'm not mistaken. Muslim population.
But it's still less.
Not Indiana.
But it's even nationwide, what is it, 1 to 2%?
I want to say 4.5 million.
It's one, which is.
What's the value of this question? I didn't get it. I really didn't get it, except let me create a gotcha moment. That's all I got from this. Nothing else. The questions are not all of that. Patrick always going back and having this Islam talking points, because I loved how even Mehdi said to him, hey, you've been basically crashing out about Muslims praying at Times Square, when everybody does that. And that is an indicator for the Americans that Islam is going to be taking over. Too funny. It's comical. It's really comical. And I have more. I actually do have more, because Patrick denies racism from the Republicans, for example, like Andy Fine.
Bank and some of that.
No, Israel proper, within the green line.
Got it. Okay.
1/5 of the population of Israel is Palestinian citizens of Israel. So the polling is horrific. There was a poll done last year by Penn State, I think it was, where almost half of Israelis said that when we capture a town in Gaza, we should treat it like the Bible and Jericho. We should kill all the inhabitants, all the men. Like, this kind of crazy. So, okay, all these polls, you take them with a pinch of salt. I get it. But anyone you speak to in Israel who's a serious commentator on Israeli politics will tell you that over the last 5-10 years, Israeli society has moved.
What a great deflection, very subtle, to say, oh, Andy Fine is not my guy. It doesn't matter. You ask about Republicans, then it doesn't matter. He's part of the Republicans, like him or don't, but he's there, right? And of course, you know, he created a gotcha moment with the Sharia law situation, you know, like, of course, that has to be brought up. Will it never happen, or is it not that bad? Which one is it? What is this? And what's his name? Yeah, Mehdi, when he brings up, of course, this whole that greater Israel is happening in front of our eyes, right? And he's saying, like, if America doesn't really stop it, like, you know, he wants him to differentiate between America's vision and Israel's vision for this. Okay. Like, how are you separating these two? How are you separating these two? Everyone is down with this whole thing, right? In Israel, you can't separate the government from the people, apparently, because most of the polls, and I'm not a poll fan, but it seems still like when you have most of the polls that are like over 80%, even 99%, one of the polls said that the people in Israel are down with these wars. Anyway, moving right along, this is something that's very interesting because Albania is very much in uproar right now, right? Because Jared Kushner and his wife Ivanka, which happens to be Trump's daughter, they have this company that is registered in the Netherlands, and they want to build a large resort in one of the on one of the islands in Albania, right? Suzanne Island. Now, Albania, there's, you know, in every country where you go, especially like, it doesn't matter if, like, even in my own country, Morocco, you have obviously other countries coming in and buying certain places to create either neighborhoods that they run, shops, or malls, or even resorts, hotels, whatever it may be. You know, the Russians are buying a lot, obviously. The Saudis do that a lot, and there has been a lot of investment done in Albania. And now they're coming for Susan Island because they saw this, or Ivanka saw this, and she wanted to have it, you know? And this is very bad, because this is actually hands-off area, because wildlife, there's sea turtles, flamingos, and everything. And it's going to be destroyed when these people who are indeed just caring about money, and the Albanians don't want this, rightfully so.
Protests are erupting in Albania over a massive luxury resort project linked to Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of US President Donald Trump, around the coastal area of Zvernets, near Vlora and Sazan, the country's only major island. The development is planned near the Narta Lagoon, one of Albania's most environmentally sensitive coastal areas, home to lush forests, wetlands, and migratory birds. Protesters claim that the Albanian...
So their prime minister, Rama, is basically saying it's going to spark tourism. Look at the Maldives. They also have resorts. Yes, the Maldives have resorts that are built by other people. I get that. But is it also destroying wildlife? Is it also destroying something? Like, come to Europe and touch one of their trees that's been under, you know, like whatever, nature protection, or whatever you call it. They wouldn't allow this. They wouldn't allow this, right? And then, of course, we have to see, like, who else is involved in this? As I said, Kushner's thing, and Kushner is obviously down with the only democracy in the Middle East. And to be quite honest, Albania has a strong stance when it comes to the only democracy in the Middle East. They completely officially recognize them. They also, to be fair, recognized Palestine in 1988 already, okay? And they did recognize the only democracy in the Middle East in 1949. Sellout, bro. Absolutely sellout. They have, of course, cybersecurity projects together, agriculture, the same basically like other countries. So health and the health sector, they also do things together. They have agreements, and one of the latest agreement was signed in 2025. Okay. This project is supposed to cost about what, $1.4 billion. And as I said, the Albanians are not happy with it. They are protesting.
To move forward without proper transparency or environmental protections. Local demonstrators have even begun to tear down construction fencing and have accused Prime Minister Edi Rama's government of selling Albania's coastline to foreign elites. This is following amendments to the Albanian Constitution's Protected Areas Clause in 2024. Those in favor of the venture argue that the project will bring much-needed investment, jobs, and high-end tourism.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I love seeing this. I love seeing these people standing up for what's right. Albania, especially Kosovo, has been very much destroyed in the 90s through the war that was taking place with the Serbs, with the former Yugoslavia, now Serbia, Croatia, and so on and so forth, Bosnia. Yeah, I mean, stand up for your parts, and tell your corrupt leader, we not to play.
Albania is not for sale. Albania belongs to the Albanian people, and we decide what we want to do here. It's not that some corrupted politicians who run now Albania can decide what they can do with our property, with the Albanian heritage, the natural heritage, the cultural heritage.
People want him to resign.
So they want him to go. They actually want him to resign. They want him gone. They want somebody else in place there that is actually more caring about the country, about the people, rather than the money. Would it spark tourism? Probably. Yes, 100%. But their tourism has been going up over the past year, since a lot of investments have been made towards the country, definitely. Do they need this resort, especially on this type of place where really wildlife should be preserved? Somehow, I don't think so.
People want him to resign because he's trying to give the land of our country. He's trying to treat our country as a personal property of him and his family and his collaborating.
Coming up now, we've been talking about the how people have been punished for actually utilizing freedom of speech, right? You guys know that's something that is very close to me, close to my heart, and is very important to me, right? Being able to express yourself, being able to speak your mind freely, right? As long as it's not causing any harm to others. Now, there is this woman from Gambia. She's a Gambian lawyer. She was a prosecutor at the ICC from 2013 to 2021. Recently, Al Jazeera did a very interesting report about her. Of course, we're talking about Fatou Bensouda. And she is now a high commissioner to the Gambia in the UK, right? She moved from The Hague to the UK because she finished her job and Karim Khan took over. It's kind of like funny. So she moved from The Hague, the Netherlands, to the UK, and he moved from the UK to The Hague. That's funny. She had a lot to say about what she endured when opening this investigation into what's been going on in Palestine. And we are talking way before October 2023.
A little, and I came out eventually. I saw them. They did not come into the house, but they were standing there, and they gave me an envelope of, I think, $500. And
they said something?
They said, yeah, they said something that they were bringing this because it's from a friend or someone whom.
What a smart guy. Her driver took the number plate of the car that was parked outside her house of these people who came there to deliver this envelope with $500 right? It wasn't so much about the money. It was like more a message, which she completely took and understood, right? She didn't, I'm saying like not took the money. She kind of like got the message. Okay. She got the message. She said she allegedly helped a friend, and this is the thank you by this particular friend. It sounds very kindergarten-ish, but I guess it was just to start communications and get in touch with her in a very weird, subtle way. And how she says it, to show her that they know where she lived. I mean, I guess this is not difficult to find out if you are like the intelligence of a country. Sorry, but yeah.
Well, at the time, what I had to do was I received the envelope. I took it to the ICC security. I took it to the registrar and reported the incident, and gave, of course, gave him back the $500 I was given, and described the situation, and also submitted the number plate that was given. As far as I know, at the time, the car was rented that morning from the airport, I think. So I believe these people are coming.
Of course she did report this incident. Why wouldn't she? I mean, come on, right? They found out the car was rented the same morning from the airport. So these people were not from the country. The phone numbers were from the only democracy in the Middle East. What a surprise. What a surprise, right? She still cannot even speak fully about everything that happened. And that's when you know there's a lot to it. So what she's giving us basically are just like the surface level stuff, the superficial stuff that she can talk about. So there is definitely way more that went down. And I definitely believe that. We have more of Fatou because, of course, she talked about it a little bit more. She talked about how she regularly, obviously, when you work for the ICC, an institution that still doesn't hold any purpose, in my opinion, because if we have such high courts, but their verdict or their rule or whatever is not binding, then why are we wasting money on this? Like, if this is just like an advice, why are we doing all of this again? So yeah, anywho, this is some more of this piece by Al Jazeera.
Then Kabila said at the time that they wanted to meet, somebody wanted to meet with me, and the person comes out of somewhere, and yeah.
And who was it?
It was the head of Mossad at the time, Yossi Cohen.
What did he say?
Well, it was to deal with the investigations in Palestine.
Yeah.
To deal with the investigations. I don't think I can go into all the details.
So when these people go to these assemblies, the general assemblies or whatever from the UN, and she flies obviously to other countries and meets these head of states, how she says, for investigations or whatever it may be that's going on, right? She also had the honor to meet the head of Mossad at that time in New York, right? And they asked her and told her, ask her would be too nice, I guess, to stop the investigation into what's been happening in Palestine, okay? And there were more meetings with them, and she made it very clear, and this is why I like her, right? She made it very clear that there is an oath, and it's all about the oath, without fear and favor, okay? So no favor, and I'm not going to be scared to do what I have to do. So indirect threats start coming in. She was sanctioned, like Francesca Albanese, right? She is also sanctioned by the US. Then the federal judge recently decided that, no, it's not right. You can't sanction her. So they lifted the sanctions, the US that is, and then put them right back in place. So like Francesca, her traveling assets frozen, and it's just like insane. And the reason why she was actually sanctioned by the US, because she started an investigation into the war crimes that the biggest power in the world, the US, committed in Afghanistan. And again, as I said, the sanctions were lifted after pressure from outside. They did that, I get it. But yet, she is still not able to tell the full story. And I don't know if she will ever actually be able to. I don't know. I really hope that everybody who received any type of threat by anyone at some point can really tell their story fully without any repercussions. And I want to show this as well. This is another couple. It's a Palestinian couple. And one of my beautiful people from Gaza, shout out to you, Hassan, showed me this video. And this is really something that this is an amazing young man, I have to say this. What an amazing guy. He showed me this. And he was very emotional about it. He was very upset that these injustices do happen in the Western world that is supposed to be free, that is supposed to support people to speak their mind and be who they are, right? No matter where you're from, no matter what you are. That's what we learned. That's what I always say this. This is what I learned as a child when I came here. In your country, you wouldn't be able to speak like this. In your country, you wouldn't be able to do all of this. In your country, you don't have all of these nice and beautiful things. No, because you came and stole them. That's why we don't have them. Okay. I was asked by somebody why we don't have any traffic lights in Morocco. And I was like, no, we do, but we don't have many because all of y'all people came and took everything we had and destroyed everything we have as a countries, right? And then we have to go without while you are living in the biggest luxuries ever. Anywho, this Palestinian couple was beaten publicly by the police. this point, what is there to say? Nobody chose to be born as a Chinese person, a Palestinian person, an Italian person. To get beaten up for who you are while your country is going through the worst of the worst is absolutely mind-boggling to me. I'm speechless. I can't say anything else. I don't know what to say, to be honest, without getting angry, because I could say a lot, but without getting angry, I don't know what to say. And we have to move to Burkina Faso, right? We all know Ibrahim Traoré, one of the best, if not the best at the moment, and most honest president, together with Abdurrahman Siame from Niger and Assimi Goïta from Mali. Because these three countries, right? These three guys did the coups on their countries, Ibrahim, Abdurrahman, and Assimi, and they're struggling. They're really struggling. The Sahel Alliance is struggling because they kicked out the French. They kicked out everybody. They don't want nothing from the West. If you don't want to talk business, there's nothing for us to talk about. So they kicked out all of the people, as you know, we talked about it so many times here. And ever since then, and before, of course, they've been going through a lot of destabilization inside the countries. Ibrahim has been facing weekly assassination attacks, even by his closest people who sold him out. Okay, now Burkina Faso is cracking down, and they closed one of the biggest Sunni masjids in Ouagadougou because there's a lot of risks and public disorder. They arrested the Imam Muhammad, oh my gosh, Asakindu. I hope I didn't butcher his name fully. So Muhammad Asakindu was the Imam in this masjid. And the people are very, very, very upset, and they are criticizing this law that they are trying to put in place, and the law is supposed to regulate religious practice, right? Okay, it's supposed, they say it's very limiting religious freedom, and why was he arrested? And his supporters say this is, he was deliberately targeted, basically. Now, here's the thing. When you hear it like this, it's super annoying. And I totally get that. Why are you closing a masjid down? You've been, especially when the leader is Muslim himself. Do you know how hard it is for somebody to lead a country where that is so infiltrated, where your own people also want to become puppets and sell out because of for money? Yes, you're going to have to regulate religious freedom for one simple reason. These countries have been facing the hardest, be it SHIT, sugar honey iced tea, when it comes to religion. Because what is the West using? They are creating all of these ISIS and Al-Qaeda's and link groups and whatnot groups, right? And they are sending them all these mercenaries and all these foreign fighters to cause trouble. And therefore, unfortunately, we're going to have to crack down on certain things because they have to be monitored closely. And if something stands out a little bit too much, we're going to have to crack down on this. We're going to have to shut it down, right? Until further notice, because this has been a little bit too cray-cray. They don't know who's friend or foe, because people are just simply infiltrating the country left, right, and center. And I cannot blame him for this. I just simply can't. And it's very sad. I don't like it. I don't like to see that. He's still in custody. We don't know actually what he's been charged with so far. But we're going to obviously stay tuned and find out. Got you guys. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. And I hope Inshallah, 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 I will be back on Friday. I think so. It's looking good. Anyhow, make sure to engage with the episode. Love you guys, and see you next time. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and see you in a few. Peace out. Assalamu alaikum.
But I'm trying